This is Conversations on Careers and Professional Life. I'm your host, Gregory Heller. On this series, I'm going to turn lessons from my MBA course, Professional Communication, into practical insights you can use every day. Today, we're diving into one of the simplest but most powerful tools in communication, professional or otherwise, the AIM framework, which was outlined by Lynn and Mary Munter. AIM stands for Audience, Intent, and Message. It's a framework I teach in the very first session of my professional communication course. And it's one that I come back to again and again because it works in every context, from team meetings to emails, from case competitions to C-suite presentations, to the job interviews that will get you there. Let's start with A for audience. Before you draft a slide, write an email, or step into a meeting, ask yourself, who am I communicating with? What do they already know? What do they care about? What do they need to hear? Not what do I want to say? As communicators, it's tempting to start with our own perspective, what we want to share, the details we think are important. But effective communication begins with empathy for your audience. When I teach this to my MBA students, I often remind them, if you're presenting to your project sponsor, that's one audience. But at your final presentation, you might have 10 new people in the room, the sponsor's boss, colleagues, maybe other stakeholders. You need to know who those people are and what matters to them. At work, the same principle applies. A CFO and a head of marketing might look at the same data and see completely different stories. If you haven't thought about your audience, you're leaving understanding and influence up to chance. So before you even open PowerPoint or start writing, take a few minutes to analyze your audience. Who are they? What's their level of expertise? And what are they motivated by? How do they prefer to receive information, visually, verbally, through numbers, or through stories? That's the first step. Know your audience. The next is I for intent. Intent is your purpose. It's your North Star. What do you want your audience to do, say, or think after you finish your communication? It sounds simple, but this is where so many messages go off course. If you don't know your intent, you can't design your message. Do you want approval, understanding, action, or alignment? Think of intent as your destination. You can't land the plane if you don't know where the runway is. You might not even be able to take off in the right direction. When I talk to students about this, I often use the example that when you begin speaking, it's not like you're on a game show and you have to buzz in first. You really need to take time to think about what it is you want to communicate before you start speaking. So before you respond to a question, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what am I trying to get across here? The most confident communicators don't speak first, they think first. So that's step 2. Know your intent. And finally, the M for message. Only after you understand your audience and your intent can you craft the right message. Too often we do this backwards. We start by writing the email, designing the slide deck, or outlining the talk, and then try to retrofit to the audience. But when you've done the first 2 steps, your message becomes sharper and simpler. You know what to include, and just as importantly, what to leave out. This is where clarity, concision, and structure comes in. Every message should have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Remember the ABCs of communication: active, brief, and clear. Use active voice, direct, strong language. Brief, say only what's necessary. And clear, make sure there's no ambiguity about your point. The message isn't just what you say, it's also how you say it. The tone, the channel, the timing, even the visuals you use to reinforce your point. Sometimes the best message is a phone call instead of Slack. Sometimes it's a short memo instead of a slide deck. The medium is the message, as Marshall McLuhan said. The medium is part of the message here and a very important part of it. So that's the AIM framework. Audience, intent, message. It's deceptively simple, but that's its power. When you apply AIM before every important communication, you'll find that your writing becomes tighter, your presentations more persuasive, and your meetings more productive. You'll waste less time explaining and spend more time connecting. So next time you sit down to prepare a talk, an email, or a meeting agenda, stop and ask yourself 3 important questions. Who am I talking to? Who's my audience? Why am I talking to them? What is my intent? And what is the clearest way to get them to act? That's AIM in action, and it's the foundation of every great communicator. On the next episode, we'll be talking about the Munter pyramid principle. If you found this helpful, you can find more resources, readings, and examples from my professional communication course on my website, conversationsoncareers.com. Thank you for listening to Conversations on Careers in Professional Life. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with a friend or classmate. Help others find the show by leaving a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Conversations on Careers in Professional Life is produced by me, Gregory Heller, with support from the Foster School of Business Office of MBA Career Management. Learn more about the show, find show notes, and past episodes, and get in touch with me at conversationsoncareers.com.